It was supposed to be a simple Saturday afternoon at the park, a break from the chaos of life for a single black mother who wanted nothing more than to watch her child laugh on the swings. But as laughter filled the air, shadows closed in. Two police cruisers rolled up, eyes narrowing, suspicion etched on their faces. To them, she wasn't a mother. She wasn't a professional. She was a threat. What they didn't know was that she carried a badge powerful enough to shatter their prejudice. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Her name was Dana Williams, a woman who had built her life on grit and resilience. Growing up in a tough neighborhood, she knew early on that discipline was her way out. Years later, she became one of the most respected agents in the FBI, but she kept that part of her life quiet. To her, being a mother came first. Her 6-year-old son, Caleb, was her world. On that warm afternoon, Dana took him to the local park, a place filled with children's laughter, joggers, and families. She sat on a bench, sipping coffee, watching Caleb run freely. She wore jeans, sneakers, and a simple hoodie, blending in like anyone else. But her peace would not last. A pair of officers nearby exchanged glances, whispering, their eyes locked on her as if she didn't belong there. It started subtly. The officers circled slowly in their patrol car, their gaze fixed on Dana. She felt it before she even looked up, the weight of suspicion pressing on her. They parked near the swings and stepped out, one with his hand resting casually on his belt, the other scanning her from head to toe. Suspicious behavior was the phrase she caught as they muttered into their radios. Caleb ran toward her, clutching his toy truck, but the sight of the uniforms made him hesitate. Dana's instincts sharpened. She had been in hostile situations before, interrogations, undercover stings, but this was different. This was home. This was her son's playground. The officers began questioning bystanders, pointing in her direction, their eyes narrowing with every second. Parents grew uneasy, some pulling their children closer. It was as if her very presence poisoned the air. She reached for her bag slowly, careful not to appear threatening. But the officers saw it differently. One barked orders, his tone sharp. Caleb clung to her leg, fear spreading through his small frame. Dana's heart raced. She knew the statistics. She knew the danger of a wrong move, the power of perception twisted by bias. And yet, she also knew something they didn't. She wasn't powerless. The taller officer stepped closer, hand brushing the edge of his holster, his voice echoing across the park. "Ma'am, stand up. Now." The crowd froze, phones lifted, recording. Caleb whimpered, his tiny hand gripping hers like a lifeline. Dana rose slowly, her pulse pounding in her ears. Every second felt like a razor's edge. She reached into her bag, the officer tensing, his stance ready. But instead of a weapon, she pulled out a small leather case. With one swift motion, she flipped it open, the golden emblem of the FBI gleaming under the afternoon sun. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The officers' faces drained of color. In that instant, the power dynamic shifted completely. She wasn't just another suspicious black woman. She was the law. The silence that followed was deafening. The officers stepped back, their authority crumbling under the weight of her badge. Parents whispered, some shaking their heads in disbelief. Caleb looked up at his mother, pride flickering through his fear. Dana didn't shout, didn't threaten. Her very presence was enough. She held her son's hand and walked past the stunned officers, leaving them to reckon with their prejudice. For Dana, This was not a victory. It was a reminder of how easily her life and her child's could have been destroyed if not for that badge. And that was the tragedy. Protection should never depend on a title or uniform. How many more mothers must endure this before society sees them as human first? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.